Women are very powerful beings that bring the quantum light code into the vessel that we call the baby inside the womb. They are the light bringers, and they give unconditionally. And among the so many things that our mothers have given us unconditionally, they have also given us their mitochondrial DNA. Isn't that fascinating? Unlike the genetic DNA that we get from our father and mother, our mitochondrial DNA comes merely from our mom. And we now know, my friends, that maybe more than 90% of modern chronic diseases like depression, anxiety, Alzheimer's, cancer, neurodegenerative diseases are actually originating in the mitochondrial genome and not in the nucleus genome like medicine originally thought to be. And this means that every woman carries within her the ultimate code for the future's health and wellness. She carries it in her mitochondria, which she passes it on to her children. And every woman needs to hear this message. This video is dedicated for every woman in the world to understand its power, the power that she holds inside of herself, and so that she can take care of this power and pass it on to the future generation. So let's first talk about what mitochondria is. We can think of mitochondria as miniature suns. They burn all of the food that we eat, and they produce all of our energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate, as well as a specific type of water, metabolic water, that is very important and that is used by all of our organs for metabolic processes. Now, in a nutshell, the better the mitochondria is working, the more energy we have to carry out optimal daily functions, from thinking, memorizing, learning and studying, digesting, even sleeping and healing. And mitochondria exists within every cell in the body, except red blood cells. Every cell in the body contains mitochondria. And the number of those mitochondria per cell really depends on the metabolic function of the cell. For instance, high energy consuming organs like your brain, your heart, your eyes contains thousands of mitochondria per cell. And brain disease, heart disease, skin disease are a direct manifestation of the mitochondria not working properly in those organs. I hope you can start understanding the importance of mitochondrial health. Mitochondria plays an absolutely essential role in mediating communication between the environment that you live in and the cell. There's continuous communication that is happening, informing your DNA and your cell about the quality of your environment. And light is one of the most important information that is continuously being transmitted from the environment through the mitochondria into the DNA. And it actually informs the DNA on what to do. It changes the genetic expression of the proteins that are coded by the DNA, which influence the health of your organs and every system in your body. It's absolutely important. And I want you to remember that anytime we talk about mitochondrial health, we need to appreciate where mitochondria came from. Across the 1.5 billion years of evolution, mitochondria evolved from a single-celled organism called bacteria around the ocean to become this very powerful engine that provides us with the energy that we need to function and to become highly sentient and more complex beings that are able to feel, imagine, and that are operating at a higher level of consciousness. All of this complexity requires energy that is being produced by the mitochondria. And those mitochondria evolved to get those light waves from sunlight, which activate energy production and metabolism during the day. And they evolved to get a lot of darkness at night. That activates rejuvenation, repair, and enable the mitochondria to turn itself and renew itself at night. The exposure to artificial light at night and the lack of exposure to healthy light from sunlight during the day is altering the most fundamental code of our evolution, our DNA. And this is happening by the mitochondria being damaged. I want you to remember that anytime we're talking about the mitochondrial DNA, it's different than the genetic DNA, because the genetic DNA is protected and covered by all of those resilient proteins, and it's placed inside of the nucleus. So it's very well protected, whereas the mitochondrial DNA is very vulnerable to attacks from reactive molecules and reactive oxygen species. Now, what are those? Those are reactive molecules that are caused naturally as long as we are living, breathing, eating, as long as the cell is alive and producing energy. There's a byproduct that is produced in the form of free radicals. The problem is not with the free radicals. The problem is with the inability of the body to clean off those free radicals, which lead to mitochondrial damage. Now, sunlight, and particularly morning sun that is rich in the infrared, is an extremely powerful tool to clean off free radicals. It produces locally produced melatonin in the cell, which has nothing to do with sleep. It's a different type of melatonin than the one that you produce at night. And this melatonin clean off all these free radicals on site within every cell, making sure that inflammation doesn't happen and making sure that your mitochondria will operate at its optimal peak and will produce energy throughout the day. At night, when the sun sets and your eyes stop seeing blue and green light, it's a very important signal to produce circulatory melatonin, which is one of its function. It induces sleep state. But this melatonin circulate in the blood and go within every cell, and it's the highest antioxidant in nature, triggering repair and rejuvenation within every cell. And it triggers also a process called the mitophagy, which means clearing off all dysfunctional mitochondria and turning them around. When your body is not able and capable of doing those fundamental processes within every cell, we run into this ease. We start feeling foggy-headed. We don't have the energy that we need to carry out the optimal daily functions that we are looking to create in our life. So if you're a woman, or maybe not a woman, a human hearing this, what can you do today? You want to maximize healthy light during the day and eliminate artificial light at night. I really recommend that you download an app called the Circadian App. It's an absolutely phenomenal app that will help you understand when the sun is rising in your environment. Because as you may know, the sun changes from one season to another. And when we say go out and get morning sunlight, this really means that you need to start connecting with your environment, understanding where the east is, where the west is, the trajectory of the sun, finding a place in the morning where you could get enough sunlight. And this will vary from one season to another. So really look for those places, find them. It's very fun. Connect with your environment. Understand when the sun is rising, when it's setting. Understand when UVA starts in the environment and when UVB starts. And those information are provided by the app. Where I live, the sun rises at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. And by 7:30 a.m., UVA starts. And by 8:30 a.m., UVB starts, which enabled me to make vitamin D. So what I choose to do is to do all of my morning activities, from exercising to meditating to maybe working and taking morning meetings outside, so that I could maximize my exposure in the first 2 hours. This is absolutely important. And if you cannot do 2 hours, make sure that you are being present in the window of time when infrared rises first, and then when UVA rises, and then when UVB rises. You want this orderly transition that you get from sunlight, because it's very important information to the body. Number 2, when you go indoors and you're exposed to a lot of artificial light, make sure that you wear your VivaRays daytime glasses, because those glasses are designed to reduce the sharpness of the 455 nanometer frequency that you get from LED bulbs and screen. And as you may have heard me saying many times, this frequency is not balanced with the other colors. And there are so many studies showing how this frequency is actually phototoxic to the retina and destroys the mitochondria by disturbing the way these complex mitochondria choose to fuse and divide within the body to attend and adapt to different health conditions. And this light has been shown to disturb the fusion fission rhythm and cycles of the mitochondria, leading to a lot of health problems. Number 3, around 12 noon or 1 or 2, make a date with yourself to take a 10 to 15 minute break and go get sunlight, because at this time you'll get beautiful amount of UVB, which will strike the skin and will trigger the production of vitamin D under the skin, which goes through a complex process by the liver and the different organs to be processed as the hormone vitamin D, which is very different than the pills that many people take. Number 3, knowing where the sun sets from and start witnessing this sunset. And this might require a commitment within yourself that around this time it's gonna be me time. It's gonna be me going outside in stillness, maybe watching the sunset, calming the mind. We are all dealing with so much stimulation in this world and with a lack of focus and attention. And what a better chance and opportunity to sharpen your focus, sharpen your attention, than being able to gaze the sunset. Many ancient practices talk about enhancing focus through gazing into a candle for an extended period of time. Why not doing it at sunset and getting all the benefits from the sunset and helping your body understand that it's nighttime? Coming back home, putting on your VivaRays evening glasses, which will protect you from unwanted light that will confuse your brain and body about the time of the day. And finally, 1 hour before bed, when you are completely ready to do nothing and to allow your body to go through its innate intelligence processes to prepare itself for a restful night's sleep, you want to help it by wearing your VivaRays nighttime glasses, which are designed to give your brain the full impression that it's dark outside, which is true. But unfortunately, in our modern world, it's not true anymore because of our perpetual exposure to those artificial lights. So by really finding ways to implement those steps in your life in ways that work for you, especially as a woman who carries the code of optimal health for future generation, you will optimize your mitochondria and you will start feeling better instantly. Your energy will increase, your sleep will become much better, your focus and sharpness, your motivation, your creativity will enhance. If you find this video useful, please subscribe to our channel. And please share it with someone that you really love. Share it with a woman that needs to hear this message. and needs to learn about her mitochondria and the power that she holds within her body. Because your mother is my mother.